Hi, my name is Doug Pagitt, and I'm really proud to be a part of this PsalmSeason project. I'm the Executive Director of Vote Common Good and a progressive evangelical pastor from here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And this is a tough place to engage Psalm 121, but it might be just the right place to engage this psalm as well. For the place that I'm standing is just up the corner from where George Floyd, just weeks ago, was murdered by a police officer. Now, this is a street and a corner that we see in our news feeds, that we see on the news, but it's also a corner that I know well. I pastored a church for 20 years just around the corner. I've spent much time on this street. I've been treated well on this street. In fact, I've been treated like a white person on this street. I've felt protected by the police. I've felt protected by God and by others. That's an experience that George Floyd didn't have, and that many people like George Floyd never have. So this is a difficult and maybe the right place for Psalm 121. It's a psalm of ascent. It reads, "I lift up my eyes to the mountains. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. He will not let your foot slip. The Lord who watches over you will not slumber. Indeed, he who watches over Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord watches over you. The Lord is your shade at your right hand. The sun will not harm you by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord will keep you from all harm. The Lord will watch over your life. The Lord will watch over your coming and going, both now and forevermore." Reading that opening line, I lift my eyes to the mountains. I'm taken by what my friend and Rabbi Joseph Edelheit said to me about this passage today. He said, it's the biblical experience of physicality. Look up to find the eternal. I look up, I lift my eyes to the mountain, to the temple in the psalm. Well, George Floyd, he tried to look up from that street corner. He tried to lift his head, to breathe and to see and to live, but he was held to the ground. He was not able to ascend to the mountain, to the temple of the Lord. He was held down. He was held down to death, not able to look up or to move toward life. He was looking up from the street and wondering, like the psalmist, where will my help come from? And those in the crucial moments, those who were called to protect and to serve, those standing around did nothing. Even more, one kept his knee on George Floyd's neck unto his death. What George Floyd needed, what others who have been held down by the knee of oppression have needed, is for other people to join with Yahweh the Lord to watch over, to protect, so that this does not happen. We know that the life of George Floyd has not ended. His life, his name, and his death, they're being told all over the world. This street has been renamed for him. His calling has called us to bring an end to oppression all around this country and around the world. And in this psalm, we are reminded that in all situations, the Lord is with us. We're never alone, both now, in this life, and forevermore. But we also know that the reason that we acknowledge the protection of the Lord is so that we can join in the act of protecting. You see, the promise of the Lord to keep us from harm is not only a promise, it's a charge. It is a righteous, holy obligation that we receive to join the Maker of heaven and earth, to protect, to care, to engage. We are cared for, watched over by the Holy One so that we can act in ways that are holy by joining with the Holy One in watching over the lives of one another. And that's what didn't happen here, and it's what needs to happen in our world. To watch over one another's coming and going, to join with the Lord in the healing of the world, to be one another's keepers, now and forevermore.